Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jordan Crook with TechCrunch, and today I'm here with the Cover co-founders Andrew Cove and Mark Agerman to discuss their launch out of beta. Hello guys, what's up?
Hello.
Yeah. So first of all, why don't you guys just explain to our readers what Cover is all about?
Sure. Cover allows diners to eat at restaurants without waiting for the check. It's just that simple. You walk in, have a great meal, and when you're done, you can just go.
So Cover's kind of like an Uber for restaurant checks.
That's exactly right.
So how does it know, like, what you ordered, or what restaurant you were at? What's the technology there?
So those are two separate questions. It knows what restaurant you're at through the geolocating system on your phone. It actually doesn't have to know what you ordered. The server knows what you ordered. The restaurant already knows what you ordered. So we handle the payment transaction. We make it so that when you're done, you can get up and leave. But it actually doesn't have to change anything about how the restaurants operate.
So if I go out with 10 people, how does it know how to split our different costs?
It actually does the simplest thing it can to give you a good experience, which is it splits it evenly amongst everyone at the table. We actually spent the last year testing and building all the different ways you could split, and it turned out it wasn't more satisfying if we gave you a lot of control, because then when you finished eating, you'd sit at the table with your phones out, and instead of getting on with your night, you'd actually sit there and fine-tune everything. And why do that when you would otherwise just deal with it the old way and split across a bunch of cards or put cash down? So Cover makes that experience better by getting rid of it and taking the awkwardness out of it, because instead of debating who owes what amongst your friends, it just says, let's split it evenly and just go and not even think about it.
So does it work, you guys are obviously launching right here in New York, does it work with all restaurants, or do you guys have to set up partnerships ahead of time?
Sure. So we actually do work with some of the best restaurants here in New York. We're launching with a few dozen of them, and we're growing every week. But it does only work at Cover-enabled restaurants, and that's because we're choosing restaurants that have great experiences, and to make sure that that wait staff and managers understand what's happening. We wouldn't want people walking into a restaurant and then walking out without paying.
Will you guys set up a system at some point in the future where restaurants can sign up on their own, or is that something in the pipeline?
Absolutely.
How long?
So we don't know when we'll go to a self-service model. We're going to focus on density here in Manhattan. It's important to us to obtain ubiquity. We would love diners to be able to walk into any good restaurant and assume that they take Cover, much in the same way you assume places take American Express if they're a decent restaurant. And if they don't, you're a little surprised. To get there, we have to go self-service. We're going to determine when that is when we hit that point.
So you'd think with like an app like Cover, you have the opportunity to kind of get really social. How many pictures on Instagram are of someone's food, right? You guys know where people are eating, when they're eating. There's an opportunity, who they're eating with. There's an opportunity to get really social, but you guys are more leaning towards the idea of use the app less. I mean, what makes you think this is the right way to go?
So for us, the real focus has been on the customer payment experience, right? It's what differentiates the product from other payment products, is that by focusing on one specific vertical, we've been able to give customers the optimal experience when they're at a restaurant. In order to do that, we wanted to keep the process of using Cover as simple as possible. And so rather than add other features to the app that really increase the surface area, we've been trying to cut things out, make it so that it just does the one thing it needs to really well. You already have a bunch of other apps that you use for taking photos of food and sharing it with your friends. You wouldn't want payments tacked onto them. It wouldn't feel right. And similarly for us, it would just dilute the experience if we put in all those other features, when all we want is for you to keep your phone in your pocket and enjoy your meal, enjoy the people around you, and then get up and have a better experience when you go.
Are there plans to move the same kind of payments Uber-style feature to other verticals outside of restaurants, or even outside of just sit-down restaurants, like quick service?
Sure. Right now we're focusing on sit-down dining. That's what we do well. Understanding payments and context is something that we care about quite a lot, and obviously we think about other verticals, but we won't go there until we're actually confident that we've hit this sort of level of ubiquity and sort of the kind of experience that we want, that it's self-sustaining, and then we can think about where else to go with it.
So how do you guys make money, and how long will it take for you guys to become profitable?
So we are payment processors. We make money by processing transactions, and we were able to do that actually at lower rates than what restaurants currently pay. So we're able to make money and save restaurants money at the same time. So it's free to use for consumers and merchants while saving restaurants money. We're able to do that because restaurant interchange costs have skyrocketed in the past few years, and we were able to actually, through structuring our transactions differently, get lower costs.
So how long will it take for you guys to be profitable?
So we actually don't know. It's an interesting question. We make money on every transaction.
Okay.
Profitability is going to determine the size of our staff and our overhead. It's a question of when we hit a scale that we're actually making enough money, but every transaction is profitable.
Awesome.
It turns out that it doesn't take sorry, turns out that it doesn't take an enormous user base for us to get profitable. It's a payments company. We make a decent margin. We can make enough money from a surprising number of users, it turns out. So,
Awesome. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming and chatting with
Yeah,
me. I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
All right. That is it for Cover. Thanks for watching.